What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Jiu-Jitsu Junction podcast. My name is Andre, and I'm here with my buddy Chase. And today, our central topic is going to be whether or not Jiu-Jitsu white belts should be trying to specialize their game. It's something that can have a shortcut to feeling
specialize in fundamentals, right?
Specializing in fundamentals.
Sorry, go ahead.
Fundamentals are broad. Specialization is just going after heel hooks, right? But yeah, it feels like a shortcut to progress, right? So let's kind of dive into the topic a little bit to see where there are some merits and where there are some downsides. So the best way to think about it, I think, is to break it down into what the problem is for a jiu-jitsu white belt. And then think about whether or not it's a solution to specialize, right? So the problem that white belts are facing when they just get started is that they're losing in basically every position. And when they're winning, they're brute forcing through physicality, and they feel uncertain and uncomfortable a lot. Right. So it's kind of a wide problem. It feels bad if you don't have the right mindset about it. And even if you have the right mindset about it, it's still uncomfortable. Right. So what's the solution for that? Everybody says just stay on the mats, get more.
That's so funny.
Yeah.
I was about to do my blurt, like, just keep training.
Just keep training. Everyone says that, right? So, there's a lot of truth to that statement, right? You will get better just by staying on the mats. You can get better faster by doing different principles-based things, but those are not usually something I would consider to be specializing in something.
Yeah.
Like you're not going to be a white belt that specializes in lasso guard. No. Right? And not and be effective in any other position, right? So working escapes, practicing fundamentals is the general answer, and that's what you get when you do the just train more.
Yeah.
Right. So tons of truth to that. Tons of truth to that. I bet you love that.
I did. That's good. Yeah, I did.
All right. So is there room for specialization in this kind of problem environment for a white belt?
Oh, man, it's so I guess it could be in a bunch of like specialization. Are we saying, maybe not trying all of the side control escapes, but specializing in one side control escape? Maybe, not all of the side control attacks, but specializing in one side control. I know that might not be as technical specializing.
I mean, it is kind of, that is a way of specializing.
Be, if I could, I guess if I was going to layer, in order to give you the best feedback, if I was going to layer you to get return, and I guess maybe even I would start back a little further and ask, what is your goal? Like, should white belts specialize? Well, what would be your reason to specialize in something specific? Are you wanting more return? Is it to be more comfortable? If we're trying to get more enjoyment out of what we're doing and be more comfortable in positions, we probably need to, pick a move in each position and not try to be, learn everything in that position, but learn one move in each position, check all those boxes.
Yeah.
And after you check those boxes, then you can kind of start diving. But specialization in a specific set of techniques while ignoring other set of techniques, man, that's where it's like big holes in your game that if you don't, it's like building a house, building a building, and leaving all these little patches. Like, you're not, like, you might leave, maybe you don't leave the whole floor out, but you only have 3 rooms on this floor, and 3 rooms only has 3 pillars. Like, where's the other 6 pillars you need?
Yeah.
So it's like, I don't like the specializing in a specific set of techniques, but maybe if you specialize in pick you one in each position, check all your boxes. I think that's probably the best way if you can do that as far as for a beginner.
Yeah, I mean it's like simplifying your fundamentals. You always want to make sure that you're acquiring the tools that you need and understanding how to use those tools. So at the beginning, you have your wrench, your hammer, whatever, your screwdriver, the simple tools, and you just use them, really get used to them, right? You don't need 5 different screwdrivers when you're building your first little toolbox, right? Just the one multi-purpose, it's just one thing at a time, right? I would rather see 100 reps of a side control escape, a single one, than 10 reps of 10 different ones.
Better believe it. Yeah, you
right.
Better believe it. Especially, early, and we're trying to get results and trying to overcome this hurdle as quickly as possible. And the second you overcome the hurdle and you've got to answer in all your, then you can change that up a little bit.
Yeah.
Covering that's big.
Yeah. So I think that the temptation of specialization is to give you kind of a short-term success. And I understand that that's actually kind of important to keep people coming, feeling like you have a chance against your training partners, right? Having some offensive success, right? You narrow the focus of the game, you specialize a little bit. I don't really disagree with doing that on principle. I think that as long as you are still working your fundamentals, then you can absolutely tool people with some ankle locks.
Yeah.
Like no problem, especially if you're thinking about competing. You can have your A game. You could build your A game, and you can build your A game in a place that isn't very general. Like there's not a ton of people that are just really good at straight ankle locks, right? So there's room for specialization. I absolutely believe that. And what I like about creating some of these pockets of specialization is that you avoid overwhelm, because you're taking them right into your realm, and you get to feel like you're in control, and that is very gratifying.
For sure.
Especially when you're like, what am I doing here? Right? Like you have to have some successes. And this is a shortcut to feeling some of those successes.
Well, you said just making sure you're not avoiding any of those fundamentals. Like the common thing that happens in jiu-jitsu is when someone learns a layback heel hook, from a guard pass, the common thing that every instructor will say is at that moment they stop caring about passing a guard. Yeah.
If you're a white belt, don't do this.
Please keep passing the guard.
Not a layback heel hook.
Yeah, please. But that's kind of the thing that happens, and it's funny. Like we usually a blue belt wall. Not usually. Let's say a blue belt wall that happens before purple belt is kind of that.
What the layback? Are you talking about like this?
Like if they haven't
too specialized?
No. Well, yeah, but it's they run into the trying to specialize in something and finding a move that they're specializing in has caused them to stop passing a guard.
Oh, right.
And it is called like usually I could tell. I'm like, oh, well, this is why you're still a blue belt. And that's a weird one, but it's just like, okay, I can't pass you. I'm just going to lay back. I'm not even going to try. Like they're attacking heel hooks from a guard as opposed to passing, and it's usually just a sign of like, oh, I'm going to where, like this is my spot. Like, don't do that. Don't lay back for heel hooks in a guard. And that's a big sign of that kind of hiccup in a growth of. I've just seen it a million times. I could point out the couple people that I know over time that do it, and it's just like it holds you back because you're not learning how to pass a guard, and that's the most intricate part of jiu-jitsu. So they avoid that because you can lay back and get heel hooks on most people.
Yeah, especially if you're in a
halfway good at it too.
Yeah, you only have to be decent.
Yeah,
and then you're going to feel on top of the world because not a lot of people are practicing that yet. That's kind of something that most people leave till later.
I get upset in competitions because I like jiu-jitsu. I love jiu-jitsu actually, but I feel like the specialization too early in competition jiu-jitsu, white belt and blue belt level. The specialization in leg locks is absolutely ridiculous. Yeah, I understand that it's going to come as brown belt, purple belt, brown belt, black belt. I understand that, but it's like, it's just you don't see jiu-jitsu. You don't see a lot of. Well, I guess that is jiu-jitsu.
Yeah,
but
it is jiu-jitsu.
It's such
it's narrow.
Yeah, well, there's such a gap in how instructors teach. There's a specific training that teaches that specializes for their competition lower belts, and there's a specific training that are like, no, we're going to do this the right way, and we're going to protect our. And then both of them want to compete.
Yeah.
And they go to competition, and this one gets smashed just because the instructor is doing what he believes is the right thing, and so specialization in leg locks, I don't like it. No, obviously there's a lot of other specializations, but
So, like, I mean, there's a specialization that's very common in our gym of the trio, like the guillotine, darce, anaconda. Specialize in that. You can find that everywhere, right? So, this is like finding an all-purpose tool that you could use everywhere, like wrist locks, or something more legitimate, like wrist lockers. Anyway, but like find something that you could do everywhere to make your opponent react.
And I love because we're going to be able to record our videos. I'm excited.
We have like a room that I've built in my garage in which we can start doing actual physical demonstrations. So I'm very excited to. Well,
there's like something that just opened up. I get bing again, like special. Like we can give a series on specializing on a Kimura, but not the Kimura, like the movements of the Kimura, and that's where like I'm excited because I can explain
system
all them. I mean, everywhere. I think about from half guard the way we do the pass. Like we've got 20 different ways to find the Kimura everywhere.
Yeah,
but it's all based like once you get to this point, it's all the same kind of push pull, rotating. Like it's all movement based. So I'm excited to bring a lot of movement based stuff like that. Yeah, because there's nothing out there with just movement based. It's the bubble.
Well, it's not like
it's different.
There are plenty of people who have that, but it's just not all focused in one place. And that's what we want to do.
Yeah.
So I'm excited to do that. So like another all-purpose tool that a lot of people go through is Ezekiel chokes, right? I got a reputation for doing that. Now I don't really do them as much, partially because people have wised up and partially because I realized how good it was at making people move and then giving me something better, right? Working off of that, getting to the back. But like find something all purpose. Like if you're going to like really like dive in and you're a white belt, then do something that you can use in a ton of different positions.
Yeah, I like that. And as long as it isn't something, I like that.
Yeah, as long as you're able to move through positions, develop your fundamentals, then you can absolutely have one go-to offense. I'm okay with that, right? You don't have like it might be embarrassing if you can't do a triangle when you're told to do a triangle, but does it matter in training? Probably not. You don't have to be able to hit an arm bar from guard. Would it be good to be able to do it? Yes, right?
I think you gotta at least learn that though.
The arm bar triangle. We need to do it.
Yeah,
it's a part of jiu-jitsu.
That's what's scary when we talk about specialization because I've competed a ton of times, and I went with guys that like. Man, I could tell you what they specialize in. And the reason why I could tell you that is because after they try it 3, 4, 5 times,
they just deflate. They give up.
Holy cow. Like, do you have guard retention? No, that's all you. Are you going to defend this? No. Okay. All right. So I'm just trying to do cool stuff because this guy can't even.
You're just
And if I stay away from
styling.
this, if I stay away from this position, then he has absolutely nothing.
Yeah.
It's kind of funny why I do the submission only grappling matches that I'm doing now. If they give me the negotiating power, I'm doing no twisting leg locks. You wouldn't believe the guys that are turning me down in the state. And obviously it's not big. I'm not going across the country, but in the state, some guys that have beaten me in competitions say no. Because of that.
I mean,
they're specialists.
Yeah.
You know, that's where they specialize in, and they're black belts.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like,
It's crazy to me.
Like,
you know, like how could you negate one part? It would, of something and not. It'd be like building your motor up and not putting a bigger car. Like, I don't know. How could you negate something? And so it's weird to me. I don't understand it.
It depends on your goals, right? Like, I view.
That's why we're going to build a jiu-jitsu person from the bottom.
Yeah. That'd be
we're going to help guys.
That'd be a cool project. Yeah. Like, I mean, there's just, it's kind of like gamifying it too much. If you specialize in one thing too much, and then you miss the rest of the game. You might like a lot of different parts of the rest of the game. It's just too early at white belt to start specializing.
I think so.
And it's always dangerous to specialize unless you are really just trying to gamify for tournaments, and that's fine.
Yeah, that's
I'm okay with that.
And I don't know if that would be considered specialization because you're preparing for.
It's you're specializing.
And you're specializing just for that tournament. So it's saying you're preparing.
Well, you could be specializing all of your training to be good at tournaments in that specific way. That's why you have this like. Leg lock or lose.
Yeah.
That's why, like, if someone's really good at defending a guillotine, some people are dead in the water.
Yeah.
Like,
they can't get that first guillotine. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's over. They've sold out, and build a better foundation. But find all-purpose tools that will create that shortcut without causing you any long-term like instability.
All-purpose tools. That video will come.
Yeah, all-purpose tools. Yep. So let's see what else we got. Cons. Yeah, you want to keep getting your general jiu-jitsu competency up because you don't want to lose reps in important spots like the guard passing, like we said. If you're pulling bottom side control for a buggy choke, don't do that, right? So like there's a lot of like, and there are people who are they'll just spam buggy chokes.
I about got a buggy choke today.
One of them.
I think that might be the first time I've ever tried a buggy choke.
I've got short little legs. I don't think I could buggy choke anyone.
He gurgled. I didn't get it though. He used the wall. I said, it's jiu-jitsu. You can't use the wall.
That's true.
And he laughed.
Yeah.
Said, but I'm a fighter. I am too. All right. No buggy joke.
Right. So one trick pony syndrome is real. You don't really want to become a one trick pony.
Yeah.
So don't do it. Like have one very well developed tool, but don't neglect growing in the rest of the ways that you can.
Please.
So if you're going to do something like that, pick something all purpose that's kind of timeless, like the head pinch series, the Darce Anaconda guillotine.
Yep.
You can get really good at arm bars from a bunch of places, like especially like the arm crush arm bars. You can find those everywhere.
Yeah.
Right? Like just pick something all purpose. Like don't stunt your growth.
Yeah.
Right? So
completely.
So there are ways to specialize without causing damage to the rest of your game. So I recommend you do that.
Yeah.
So let me know, all you specializing people, in the comments below what you specialize in. Because we know everybody wants to specialize because it's like a shortcut to perceived progress.
And just know, if you're specializing, one day you may have to go with somebody who their only goal is to let you do whatever you want to do and you're really good at. And then after they feel that and they figure that out, you will have nothing. So please
Yeah,
don't negate stuff in your specialization.
Yeah, get good at your fundamentals.
Please.
Grow everything. All right, build a strong foundation. Anyway, thank you for watching. We will see you next time.